Hey, folks, I got another pain point lesson coming to you, but this one's not just for power sports. This could go out to everyone. Hey, folks, I got another pain point lesson to go over with you, and this one's more of a general business kind of thing. It's a general people kind of thing, and it's a message for trainers, but also for the learners. So this happens a lot in business, especially small business or enthusiast based businesses. So, yeah, I'm talking to you, power sports dealers. Um, Something interesting happens in an adult centered learner environment. So, there'll be a curriculum that's developed. For instance, when I worked for Ducati, we had a curriculum for how to use a multimeter, right? How to do electrical diagnostic testing. And we made this whole curriculum based on the idea that technicians in the field knew how to use a multimeter. And so we were talking about how to diagnose a CAN bus system, which is a 5-volt system that activates a 12-volt system. And there's all these things that go on. And so we built the whole curriculum based on the idea that if a technician's working in the field, they obviously know how a multimeter works. So let's skip the part on how a multimeter works and let's go right to using that multimeter in the diagnostic process. It didn't take long, folks. We got into the field and the curriculum was not working because a great many technicians knew that a multimeter, you turn the dial and there's numbers on the screen, and I can put my testers, my electrodes on things and I can get readings, but gosh, they really didn't understand what was happening. They didn't really understand the basics of electricity, to be honest with you. And so we kind of had to go back to a root training session on, you know, electrical basics, how a multimeter works, and then how to use those tools to diagnose a CAN bus network. Now, this will happen in all kinds of business. So, what'll typically happen for a coach or a consultant in the field, and I see this happen a lot. So this message goes out to a much broader audience than just the power sports people. And if you join this live and you've got a question, comment, some feedback for me, put it in as a comment. I'll see it pop up, and we can engage and have a good time there. And pop in, tell me where you're from, or maybe what industry you're working in, or if this kind of resonates with you. So anyway, you could be a trainer or a consultant working in the field, and you'll be talking to a business owner, and they're giving you this look. Okay. So they're giving you these looks, and sometimes they just stare at you like this. So they're looking at you like you're training them and they don't have the time for it. I've been here, I've done that. This ain't my first rodeo. I've been in business 18 years. You're going to hear all kinds of things. And what's interesting is these are elements of human pride. And I've never been able to really get over, the true source of it or how to combat it necessarily. But I have learned to kind of put on a shield and almost ignore it. Now, here's why. When someone comes to a training event or has a consultant come in and they're doing this, right? They just don't want to look stupid. They don't want to look like they don't know what's going on. They want to look like they're in control. It's their business. They're in charge. You're working for them. And it's a pride thing. And so it's hard for some leaders that aren't exhibiting true leadership characteristics. They're leaders in position but not in practice. So sometimes it's very difficult for them to come to the table with a little humility and take in the information and be grateful for it. And so I'll see this over and over and over again. And I've gotten to the point in my training career where I've been able to identify it and kind of go, okay. Most recently, I was working with a group of people. I had this individual in class going, yeah, whatever, and really just exuding this, like, they got it. They're in control. They can't believe they're in this course. They already do all this stuff. They already do all this. And so when I called on that person in conversation within the class, you know, I'm not there to out people. I'm not there. What I say in the description here is a great trainer knows how to navigate the darkness of ignorance and shine a light on subject matter without putting a spotlight on an individual. Okay. So your job isn't to hammer somebody and teach them humility. Your job is to educate them and add value to them. And it took me a while to kind of understand that, right? Pardon me. When I first started out as a technical trainer, it was like everybody wanted to play stump the trainer and ask me silly questions and try to confuse me or get me to answer something incorrectly. And then I would have to zap them back, and who's going to one up each other. And, that was ridiculous. With time and maturity has come the ability to just kind of ignore that kind of a challenge, and let's just focus on the content. Let's just focus on what I'm an expert in and why I'm here, instead of trying to find out what I'm not an expert in. And the more that you can focus on the illumination, the less you have to focus on the pride and the darkness. So, and I might be saying this I hope I'm not saying this in a weird hidden way. So most recently got this person in class, and yeah, we already do all this. And I really started to wonder, like, do I need to? And here's the temptation. This is what I put in the description. Your temptation as the trainer, your temptation as the educator is to go, well, if they already know this part, I guess I'm going to fast forward to the next part. Or I guess I'm going to look for some way to wow them and give them some kind of, nuanced, new, wonderful, secret, easy button that nobody knows about, and in today's world, when people take these, consulting pathways or classes, they come thinking there's some magic easy button, just give me the easy button. I'll take care of the rest on my own. There is no easy button. Everything takes work. Everything takes a learning curve. Everything takes activity. Everything takes energy. And so when I have this instance happen, the temptation is, pardon me, the temptation is, oh my God, this curriculum's too simple. I need to kick this up a notch. I need to, make this more engaging. I need to bring more to the table. Well, here's what happens. This person has a coworker, and this person pulls me aside and says, oh, thank goodness you went over this, and this, and you gave us these resources and you gave us those resources, because we didn't have any of that. Wait a minute. And I'm not gonna, put the spotlight on the other person that she came with. So, but we didn't have any of that. Oh, I thought you guys, I just assumed that you guys already had a lot of this in place. Well, we've talked about it, but we've never done it. We didn't really know how to do it. We knew we should have been doing it. And thank goodness, you put all of the pieces together, and now we can execute on, A, B, and C. And what's important to note here is typically training, consulting, all this stuff, you're not inventing the wheel. There's no new technologies. I didn't invent gravity or anything like that. It's just a different way of presenting information. And sometimes it's a different way that inspires people to go, oh, I can do this too, or I can do that too, or that this could be better. And so that's the kind of training. Like when I think about my CVI, my core value index, when I think about, the Y Institute. When I think about that, the Y Institute was like, your why is, find a better way, make the difficult more simple, and add value to others. Right. So those are my three things. That's how I'm made up. That's how I'm internally wired through the Y Institute. And so when it comes to training, I look at how can I take a convoluted issue? How can I take something that seems weighty and break it down and deliver it in, bite-sized pieces? So sometimes when you do that, things can seem too elementary. Things can seem too easy. So there's people in your audience that, are like high school students, and you're coming to the table with third grade stuff. And sometimes you feel like, God, I got to pick up the pace. I got to go faster. I got to cover more. I got to go deeper. I got to get these guys to college. And that's not the goal of training, instructing, or consulting. The goal is making sure that this person that's acting like they're in high school really did absorb the content from third, fifth, seventh, ninth grade, right? So you got to make sure that the standards are there. And so I really wanted to address this pain point. And here's how it relates to the Power Sport Academy. I'm making a big drive on the Power Sport Academy. If you are paying attention, the first 10 dealers that, make a call to me and register for the group training in the Power Sport Academy are going to get in for 75% off. 75% off. But here's the deal. There's going to be some courses in there that are going to look elementary. They're going to look like, I don't need to do that. Hey, can you just mark that one done for me? Because I know how to answer the phone. And, I'll just focus on these courses. That's not how this is going to work. It's not how it's going to work. It's not how it's going to work at all. The Power Sport Academy right now has 6 courses in it. One is how to use the phone as an effective sales tool. And so there's going to be people be like, I know how to use a phone. I know how to answer the phone. I don't need to take this course. No, you need to take this course. And here's why you need to take this course. Because no matter how silly it sounds to take a course on how to answer the phone correctly, I'll go visit dealerships and I'll listen to people in the field answer the phone. And I go, oh my goodness, I can't believe they're talking to a customer that way. That's why we have a course on how to use the phone as an effective sales tool. So there'll be people that'll say, well, I don't need to know how to tell technicians to work on motorcycles that are broken. There's broken motorcycles outside. They need to come inside and get fixed. It's not rocket science. There's people that'll say that to me all the time. This isn't rocket science. Well, if it's not rocket science, why did your boss hire me? Why is your shop working at 52% efficiency when, after working with me and using the service sales funnel that I teach and how to dispatch work into the technicians, you're all of a sudden at 74%, 78%, 82% efficiency? And then folks drive that down. What's the difference between, 53% efficiency and 80% efficiency in dollars? What happens there when the dollars for something, just go through the roof? That's when opportunity happens. And that's when you can get deeper on the training. And that's when you can look at the nuances of relationship and leadership and internal culture and really start to build things out with process. So anyway, that's the pain point. The main pain point that I wanted to point out was you often don't know what you don't know. Sounds silly. But as a trainer, as a consultant, as a coach, you also do not know what they don't know. No matter how much they tell you they already know, chances are they do not. There's always a different nuance to something. It's like, and you hear it all the time, right? Tiger Woods had a swing coach. Reggie Jackson had a batting coach. You could go all the way back through time and look at experts in a field that had coaches that would constantly evaluate them and give them feedback. And that is, even if somebody is great at what they do, there's still room for coaching, observation, feedback, and changes. Folks, that's my pain point for today. I hope that you can recognize the value in that. If you're a dealership and you think that you're just knocking it out like crazy all over the place and killing it, there's room to kill it more. If you are struggling and you're trying to figure out how to handle customers in this post-COVID environment, reach out, man. That is one of our strengths. And we'll keep you going from there. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Oh, end the stream.